Welcome to This Explainer. Look, today we are unboxing a toolkit that's an absolute game changer. We're going to take you from being just a participant in your child's education to an empowered, highly effective advocate, and we are going laser focused on one absolutely crucial skill: how to write school emails that actually get results. So let's just dive right in. We're starting with this core philosophy right here because, frankly, knowing your legal rights, it's just not enough. Don't get me wrong, it is a great start. But you need actionable, ready-to-use tools to actually communicate with your child's school. If you can't put what you know into a clear, documented format, well, that knowledge just kind of sits there. We're going to change that for you today. All right, here is our checklist of tools for today. First, we'll hit the parent binder system, then mastering school emails, followed by following up like a pro, and finally, seeking outside help. Section 1, the parent binder system. This is all about building your foundation. Okay, before we write a single word of an email, we literally have to build your foundation because you just can't write a good factual email if you don't know where your records are, right? So whether you're a physical three-wing binder type of person or you prefer a digital folder in the cloud, you need to organize your records with these specific tabs. We're talking current and past IEPs, evaluation reports, consent forms, medical evaluations, the whole shebang. Why? Because when you walk into a meeting or sit down to draft that email, having this info right at your fingertips completely changes the dynamic. You're no longer just a concerned parent. You are an organized, prepared advocate. I want you to remember this number: 5. Listen, spending just 5 minutes right now to file a document into your binder is going to save you an hour of frantic pulling your hair out, searching right before a massive IEP meeting. Seriously, do not let that paperwork pile up on the kitchen counter. Section 2, mastering school emails. This is really your primary superpower. Now we're diving into the absolute core of your toolkit, mastering those school emails. The golden rule here: always keep the tone calm and professional. Why? Because every single email you send is official documentation. Now, our first template is for requesting an evaluation. When you need the school to assess your child, you don't just ask casually in the hallway. No way. You send a formalized email, and you can easily customize the brackets you see here in the subject line with your child's specific details. Now, inside the body of that exact same email, you're going to use very specific language. You'll strategically include these exact legal timeframes, stating you understand the evaluation must be completed within 90 calendar days of your signed consent, and that you expect copies of all reports at least 10 calendar days before any meeting. The whole point here, by including this, you gently but firmly show the school that you know exactly what the rules are. It sets a tone of mutual accountability right out of the gate. All right, let's move on to template 2 and see how we build on this strategy. This one is a straightforward request for an IEP meeting. In the body of this email, you'll briefly list the specific concerns you want the team to address. Maybe it's a plateau in reading goals, or requesting new speech services, or even a behavioral concern. Keep it super focused. The goal isn't to solve the problem in the email itself, it's just to get all the required team members to the table. Now, before we look at template 3, we absolutely need to define prior written notice, or PWN. Under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, this is written documentation that explains exactly what action a school proposed or refused, the reasons why they made that choice, and the data they relied upon to make it. It is literally the most critical document for understanding the why behind a school's decision. Which brings us right to template 3. When a school refuses a service you've asked for or decides to change your child's placement, this is the template you use. You use it to calmly but firmly demand that PWN documentation. You're basically just asking them to put their verbal refusal or proposal into writing, forcing them to justify their decision with actual data. Section 3, following up like a pro. This is all about cementing your paper trail. So you've sent the emails, and you've had the meeting. Great. But what happens after that meeting concludes? Listen, do not skip this step. Template 4 is your follow-up email. This is a vital tool to ensure that you and the school have a shared written record of what just went down in that room. Human memory is flawed, and what you heard might definitely not be what the case manager wrote down. Here's how you construct this follow-up. You do 3 things: summarize the discussion, summarize the final decisions, and explicitly list any commitments the school made. For example, the team agreed to add speech services beginning November 1st, but the absolute secret weapon of this template is the closing. You finish by inviting them to correct any misunderstandings. You literally write, "Please let me know if I have misunderstood anything." If they don't reply to correct you, boom, your email officially locks in the record of that meeting. It's brilliant.
Now, sometimes, despite having great documentation, you're going to disagree with the school's findings. If you ever disagree with a district's evaluation of your child, you have a legal right to an independent educational evaluation, or IEE. This is an evaluation done by a qualified examiner who is not employed by the district, but, and here's the kicker, it's paid for at public expense.
Which brings us to our final, highly specialized email template. Template 5 allows you to formally request this IEE. In the email, you'll specifically name the district evaluation you disagree with, list the date it happened, and request their criteria for approved outside evaluators. Sending this email triggers a very specific legal timeline for the district, which is exactly why having a ready-to-go template is so incredibly powerful.
Section 4. Seeking outside help. What to do when emails just aren't enough.
Look, while good communication and clear emails really do resolve the vast majority of disagreements, you need to recognize when your toolkit isn't quite enough and you need to call in backup. So who do you call? Well, an advocate is perfect for when you're feeling dismissed, when the school just isn't following the written IEP, or you just need someone knowledgeable to help navigate tricky team dynamics at a high-stakes meeting. On the flip side, you absolutely must escalate to a special education attorney if you're considering filing for due process, if there are significant rights violations happening, or if you actually receive legal correspondence from the district. And hey, if you happen to be located in New Jersey, you can tap into some fantastic free resources, like the Office of Special Education Programs and the Parent Training and Information Centers for extra support. And please, keeping our usual disclaimer in mind, remember that the tools and templates we've discussed in this explainer today are purely educational and informational, right? They're not legal or medical advice. So, here we are. You now have the exact blueprint to organize your records and build an absolutely undeniable paper trail through calm, professional emails. I want you to look at your child's records today. Think about what your child needs right now and ask yourself this. Your binder is built and your templates are ready, so what will your first email be? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and happy advocating.